everybody. Welcome to the first Sunday morning talk about. So I know we need to have a little bit of an intro first. This is our first show, and we're excited about it, and we hope you are too. It was right at the end of the radio age, just before MTV came out, and I didn't know that was going to happen, of course, but I wanted to write a pop song, a pop rock and roll song that would be radio worthy, short song that really had the right hooks to it, and so I sat down to do that while the band was rehearsing all the time, and they basically wrote that song with me, so today I wanted to just share some of the things that happened during that time, and play a little bit on my guitar, show you some of how the chord structure worked and what the guys did to it. And just talk about it. So, really nice, really nice when we, this is a first for me. So I actually did, it was the first version this morning when I started this. It just came out and it really flowed, and it was one of those. It's kind of like sometimes how you write a song; it just happens, and that's what it was like this morning. And I forgot to hit the record button, and I got it all on the computer, and I'm ready to start editing it and everything. And I go, oh no, I didn't even hit the freaking button. So I'm back to square one here. So I'm human. Bear with me here. So anyway, first episode, first kink in the wheel, and first scratch on the record. Yeah. Anyway, so I might as well just show you some things on the guitar here. So the song. So a little background on what I've been going through. I'm 70 now, and I had some issues earlier in the year with some health issues, and I started the film business or making the films, and as I was doing it, I was realizing that, this is a full-time gig, and I basically put down my guitar for a year, and first time I hadn't played guitar since I started playing guitar for that long. So anyways, when this opportunity or this thought process came about, I thought, well, I better sharpen up a little bit, and I pulled up my guitar, and my left hand is real arthritic these days, and I ended up trying to play the song. So I'm listening to the song, and I'm going. I was just stunned by how fast we played that song, and I tried to keep. There was absolutely no way that I was going to be able to keep up with that song. Keep up with those 23-year-old kids. So I'll be doing it. I'll be showing you a couple things, but it's going to be on the slower side. So, but they all. When I came up with the first, I wanted to have an intro to it that I had really no idea how it was going to build and what the guys were going to do on top of it. Rick and Alan, who were the lead guitar players. But so I started out with this. Where I would go, it would start right out on a D chord. I kid you not. When I started listening to this, it was this fast. I'll try. I mean, I won't be able to do it real good. It was like. Rockin' on the radio. I mean, oh man, youth is wonderful, isn't it? Don't you miss it? I sure do. I mean, I'm appreciative of everything right now, but boy, that was a beautiful time. I wish I was so much more aware then of what I'm aware of now. Boy, aren't we all? Anyway, so it would be like, so we did that intro, and they created this awesome dual lead over top of that. Rockin' on the radio. Rick Lake and Linda singing. Rockin' on the radio. It's hard to cruise when there's nowhere to go. With an empty tank and a sold out show. Leaves you rockin' on the radio. Whew, even that gets me out of breath. But anyway, so it was just cool the way, and Linda did, all these years that I had to recording, I never really paid close attention to a lot of what everyone was doing. It just all, it's just like we were like, it was all there. But as I was making the films, would have to listen to it over and over and over again. And I started hearing it like, wow, the different details that everybody was playing was really remarkable. And how Linda in the piano, she just really locked in the bottom. And like when we went to the verses or the verses, and even the chorus, when it came out of the different things that the guys were doing double leads on, it was just like basic rock and roll, laying down the chords. It really had the emphasis on the lyric, and that was cool. That was good, because the rocking on the radio was like, rocking on the radio, rocking on the radio, rock. I when I wrote it, I felt like, it's almost like a mantra. It's almost like, and it just to keep it circling like that. But they just laid down such a foundation, and Rick Lake he worked with her so well, which was essential with a piano and a bass player like that, the rock and roll. So anyway, that was cool. And then when we went to that first bridge, I wanted to, when I grew up, I remember there was a show called, I think it was the 4 o'clock show. I was just a kid. So, I'd be out playing, and then I'd come in the house and this would be on the TV. My mom might be watching it or whatever, but it had this theme song to it whenever it started. And it was black and white television, and it had a big clock tower in the front thing, but it had this kind of strange vibe to the song, the intro song. And I realized later in life that it was this, when you mix a C major 7 with an A chord, it creates this ambiance, this energy, this feel that's almost spiritual in a way. But that's kind of stuck with me. And, so I've used that several times in my writing, but in this particular case, I wanted to give it that. I wanted to take it from the rock and roll thing up into this kind of another level of vibe, of energy, and so I did this C major 7. So I would do that, and then Linda started doing this cool answering to it. I would just do like a basic chord thing there, but she would do this. So we play these notes, the chord, and little bliss, but she would do this. She'd do this. She would do that, and the guys would be doing this. They spent hours working on this stuff. It was amazing, and they'd come up with these lines that would just flow through that whole thing. Very simple chord progression, but they created a journey, You know, it was like going on a journey with this. And then Rick would lock into the bass line with Linda, and he'd come up with a even more detail to it, consistent, that really just filled it in. And man, when we went to the change there, and I had a hard time remembering actually how it went, but you'll hear it in the film. And but man, it is amazing. Is really remarkable. When I think about, like all of us, we all have our own stories. We all have the things that we went through in life, and the things that we did when we were in our early 20s. It's a whole different focus and energy. And this certainly was for us. But anyway, the guys, Steve, Philip, he likes to be called Philip now. I had a great opportunity. There's another film that I did called Highway Signs, and it's actually in that story. It's about when I hitchhiked to California in 1973. It has parts of that story in it, and my intention with the film was really to make it so that halfway through the film, the journey of this 18-year-old kid hitchhiking across the country, and then halfway through the film comes in 30 years later, when we went out to California and actually did like a pilgrimage. We traced our steps. I mean, Linda with her hang gliding, and me with my hitchhiking, and so we went out there and did that, and so. But when we did, we visited Steve. We called him Steve when we knew him as a drummer when we were young in the band, and he liked to be called Philip now. But anyway, we connected with Philip again, and it was really great. And that's what that movie is kind of about. It's kind of like, seeing yourself, meeting yourself again, seeing yourself in a whole nother time and body and place, and same place but different body and different, ultimately the same mind, although it's got much more data in it. And by the time you get to be my age, it's like way too much data. But anyway, it's a cool movie too. It's called Highway Signs. You guys ought to check that one out. Hope everybody's enjoying the morning. And this is a cool thing to do. I'm glad that this idea popped into my brain, and looking forward to just keeping it up, and something that we can all maybe enjoy a cup of coffee over, and hear the details of how things evolve in a movie or a film and a song. And I don't want to become too cumbersome with details. A lot of the details are in the movie, so please check that out. It's on YouTube. I post on my different social media platforms. I post the links, and send, if you're interested in anything, just send me a message, and as they say here in the internet world, please subscribe and comment. Oh man, I'll tell you, there's just an ocean of souls out there trying to express themselves, and that's great. And it's we live in an incredible age, don't we? I mean, really, it's remarkable. And I'm privileged to be able to do it. A year ago, I mean, I didn't have a whole lot to look forward to, frankly. I mean, it's tough when you get to this point and everything changes in life, and I encourage any of you folks that are up in my age, or any of you who are getting close, just keep being creative, keep being you. I mean, like the you that you were when you were young, that you got joy out of, that you got inspiration out of, and things will open up, and anyway, I don't want to get too, it is Sunday, but I don't want to get too preachy here. No. God bless you. I love you. Thanks for tuning in and becoming a part of the first Sunday Talk About. Bye.